Alright, ready for this review, Sam?
I'm not Sam.
Okay. Hey guys, this is Justin at The Survivor Review, and I'm joined here today with my brother Ben. And today we're going to be talking about Iron Man.
The original.
Why? Because today marks the 10th anniversary of the release of the movie. 10 years since the Marvel Cinematic Universe begun. Which is hard to believe. And we have fond memories of seeing this movie in theaters because we did see it, not opening night, on Thursday night at the midnight screening, before they did 7 o'clock shows when all they had was midnights.
Yes.
So we wanted just to talk about like our experience seeing the movie and like how like it impacted us, and also just a real review of the movie as well, like discussing it and everything. And going into this one, this was before I read up on stuff online and everything, so I had no idea this was like done by Marvel Studios now, or that this was a setup for the Avengers. I didn't know any of that going in.
Nope.
To me, this was just a new comic book movie, and I loved that stuff. You know, and first off, it was Iron Man, which...
I had no idea who Iron Man was.
No, my only real knowledge of Iron Man was through the Ultimate Avengers.
Which I can't believe you still have.
Oh, I still have those, of course. Ultimate Avengers 1 and 2.
I remember these.
Yeah, that was actually my introduction to the Avengers. But that's how I found out who Iron Man was, and that's how I got interested in the movie. So we see the movie, you know, midnight screening, which for us back then was a huge deal. Because not many people, like, in our schools, like, went to midnight shows.
No.
Like, I was 11 at the time.
15.
15, yeah. So we were, like, the first people to see the movie.
I think I became one of those people where it's like a new movie came out the next Friday. How was it?
Yeah.
You look tired. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I was at the movies.
Yeah, and then we see the movie, and it is such a pleasant surprise of a movie. It is funny. Like, I know that's the thing that people, like, want to complain now when it comes to Marvel movies, because now Marvel movies are too funny and everything. But back then, that was a breath of fresh air.
That's all I talked about. When people asked me, how was the movie? I was like, it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, was the action good? I was like, sure, it was funny.
Yeah, because it was such, like, a witty movie. But at the same time, it was still kind of grounded and took itself seriously enough. Like, it still has, you know, silly elements to it.
Yeah.
But it took itself seriously enough, but was still just, like I said, really witty, like, really good dialogue. Which is something you never really saw in a comic movie. You never really praised the comic book movie for its dialogue.
Yeah. I never even knew Robert Downey Jr. before this.
No, me neither.
I had no idea who he was before this movie.
No, yeah. Yeah, that was my introduction to Robert Downey Jr. And, no, not to Jeff Bridges. I saw him in the 70s King Kong movie before this.
This was probably my introduction. I was 15, I don't know anything.
Yeah. And on rewatch, this movie still holds up.
Yes, just watched it an hour ago.
Yeah.
Whatever time it was.
It still holds up. It's one of those movies where, like, the plot isn't too complicated, and, like, everything else works around it, where it's just, like, you can just watch it at any point in time, and it's still entertaining. It has great pacing, great characters, great moments, really great action, too. And, yeah, sure, it's smaller scale than what we get with future Marvel movies, but that doesn't matter. Like, I rewatched all of the Marvel movies, like, leading up to Infinity War, and this one still ranks at the top as one of the best. It's also really interesting watching this movie after being 18 movies in and just seeing, like, where things began and how
little like things they added in.
Yeah, back when it was just like there's like little subtle references to other stuff, like there's a Captain America shield hidden behind Iron Man at one point and stuff like that. Just very subtle references to what to come. And the one moment that, like, I fondly remember, so like I said, we had no idea that they were planning to do any more with this world while seeing this. And so you have Agent Coulson in this movie, who I love. He's still one of my favorite characters in the whole cinematic universe. He's just funny and just great. And, you know, the joke with this character is that his organization has this long, drawn-out name, like the Strategic Homeland Intervention, so-and-so.
I'm Agent Phil Coulson with the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division.
We never picked up on this. We're like, okay, it's just a funny gag that they have this really weird name.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, when Pepper Potts walks up to him, and is just like...
From the Strategic Homeland and...
Just call us S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
We freaked out when we saw that.
Oh my gosh, S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but yeah, I remember freaking out in the theater, being like,
Everyone
holy crap.
freaked out.
Yeah, because holy crap, they mentioned S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, other people will probably like right up knowing that they're planning to make a whole universe out of it. Will probably be like, okay, cool, S.H.I.E.L.D. But we didn't know that.
Nope.
So that was just a huge Easter egg that we flipped out at when we saw it. And then, of course, the post-credit scene.
Yep.
Which we didn't
We
see.
didn't see it the first time because I didn't sit around for credits. So it was midnight. It was what, 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
I gotta get it for school.
Yeah,
I'm
we had
not
school
watching
the next day.
post. I'm not gonna sit here for another 10 minutes and watching credits.
And none of us knew there was one. So
Now I sit. Any movie now, I sit. Even if it's like a regular movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, you never know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna sit and watch this.
So we missed it. We didn't see anything.
Yeah.
And then I remember reading up online that Samuel L. Jackson appears at the post-credit
Yes.
scene as Nick Fury, teasing the Avengers. And I was just like, wait a
I watched
second.
it again.
Yeah, so we ended up seeing the movie again in theaters like a couple weeks later, and
Yeah.
then we stayed for the post-credit scene. Mm-hmm. And I remember my uncle was with us. Our uncle was with us.
Which uncle was that?
That was Uncle Jimmy.
Oh.
And I remember he was just like, what? And we're like, Nick Fury. And he
Yeah.
mentioned Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's never going to pan out.
10 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
The biggest opening movie ever. Well, another thing that they added in, knowing more about it going back, is when he says his dad died in
Yeah.
a car accident, did everything in World War II.
Yeah,
And we see all that later in Captain
yeah,
America.
he references his dad in World War II and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
My father helped defeat the Nazis. He worked on the Manhattan Project.
And even like in the opening, there was that montage like telling about the history of Tony Stark,
Mm-hmm.
and it does say like Howard Stark killed in car accidents.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't know if they were making the movie and they're like, oh yeah, we're eventually gonna have Winter Soldier in here, and we're gonna explain
Probably
that he
not.
killed him. Probably not. But it feels like it, and it works. Like watching the movie again and seeing that part, like, oh my god, that has a lot more weight to it.
Yep.
But then also you see how things are kind of different back
Yes.
then, because you have other actors. Like you have a different actor as Howard Stark in
Yeah,
those pictures.
yep.
And then because afterwards they casted the guy from Mad Men
Yes.
as
I
Howard
forgot his
Stark.
name, but yes.
So there's that, and then of course the big obvious one is Terrence Howard as Rhodey.
He fits for this movie,
Yeah.
but as the Marvel movies got more like crazier and a little more like snappy with their dialogue, you needed someone that had a little more of that.
Yeah, he's a
coming
little dry
Yeah.
in this movie. He's fine in the movie, but I do like Don Cheadle more as the
Yes.
part, and also his chemistry with Robert Downey Jr. is
in.
just
You need that.
great.
You need that. Not butting
Yeah.
heads, but they need to be snappy back and
Yeah.
forth. For sure.
Yeah, and in this one, like, Rhodes kind of comes off as, like, almost like a reluctant friend at times.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, God, Tony, like,
This is what happens, Tony.
yeah, like, they're not as kind of, like, buddying around. They're more just
Yeah.
kind of like, really? And it's kind of like, dude, just, it's
Yeah.
Tony Stark. You've known him for how long? You
Yeah.
should know what's going on.
You don't respect yourself, so I know you don't respect me.
I
I'm
respect
just
you.
your babysitter, and so, when you need your diaper change, thank you. Let me know, and I'll get you a bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. I thought about that watching this again, and I was like, he acts like this is all like news. Like, this is like all brand new. It's like, Tony Stark's not listening to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
How long have you known him? Like, I don't. That line doesn't work. Where he's like, "How was the fun be?"
Yeah.
It doesn't work with Terrence Howard. But I bet you Don Cheadle would have like
Yeah, he would have made it better.
made that better for sure.
Also, what I've noticed in rewatching the movie is that, like, with the Iron Man character, they really made it feel like a comic book, like, as the franchise progresses.
Yeah.
Like, this really feels like the first issue where, like, he's has, like, the Mark I suits that
Yeah.
can't do a whole lot. And, like, he still, like, has to do that weird kind of flying where he has to, like, propel himself with his hands.
Yeah.
And it looks kind of, like, weird, and they changed that in later movies. And then you see his, like, suit and everything evolve as every movie goes on.
Yeah.
That it really feels like the evolution of, like, a comic book.
Yes.
That's one of the things that Marvel Studios did so well with this universe and everything.
It's like you're reading an actual comic next issue, and it
Yeah.
gets better and better.
Yeah, and then you can go back and be like, oh, this is issue 1, only, when he was just very simple and only had just that one suit.
Yep.
That didn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah. It's fun looking back because like knowing the future where you're like this whole thing is about this centerpiece and then later
Yeah.
you're like no that's
And now he doesn't even need
useless.
one. Also, this movie, like, it has a little bit more of an edge to it than the, like, later Marvel movies.
It's a lot grittier.
It's a lot grittier. I'm not saying it's, like, darker or anything,
Yeah.
but it's a lot grittier. It's kind of like, it lets dramatic scenes play out.
A lot.
It doesn't undercut stuff with, like, quippy lines.
Yeah.
And, like, it gets pretty dark, like, when he gets actually captured in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just that opening scene is great. The, like, pre-title scene.
Yeah.
Where, first off, it kicks off with AC/DC, which
Yep.
was awesome, especially for you.
Yeah, I loved it. That was my favorite part of the movie. I was done. That's all I needed.
First, you have, like, the witty dialogue between him and the other soldiers.
Yeah.
The one line that completely outdates the movie.
I don't want to see this on your MySpace page.
But then when they get attacked,
Yeah.
and like you don't see, it's not like bloody or
Yeah.
anything, but when those soldiers die, like it actually hits.
Yeah.
You feel the impact.
Which is a difference from now, though. Because, like, I just watched Doctor Strange 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And he's, like, he's falling down the hallway, and, like, the blood's dripping on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been completely different back then.
Everything hits. Like you feel
Yeah.
the impact when everybody
Yeah.
gets hit.
Yeah.
And then you'll cut to the title, and it's just
Yeah.
like you're just like, holy crap! Like
Yeah.
I remember seeing that in theaters and being like, okay, this is something different.
This is different. I like that everyone laughed in theaters when
Yeah.
the Stark missile came down.
Yeah.
I remember it came down to the Stark Industries. Everyone's like, ah ha ha!
Everybody
He's
laughing.
gonna die.
When he gets captured and he's in that like cave and everything.
Yeah.
And that stuff is just really awesome. You really see like how smart of a character Tony Stark is, how good of an engineer he is, which is kind of stuff that kind of gets lost in later movies.
Yeah. They try to bring it back in 3.
Yeah, they do
Where
bring
he's
it back.
just by himself.
Yeah,
without
he's-
suits, but
And even like for a character with little screen time, the
other
one
scientist guy, yeah.
he's a fun character. He's a good character, and spoilers, but it's it's been 10 years. You should have seen it by now. When his character dies,
Yes.
it actually hits.
Yeah.
And even the moment where he's like, we're gonna bring you home and if you see your family, he's
Yeah.
like, my family's dead. I'm gonna see him right now. And you're like, oh
Oh
god,
wow.
ow.
This just took a turn.
Yeah, that just did.
He's like, we need more time. He runs out with a machine
Yeah.
gun, and he's just like, wait, stick to the plan. This guy's just like, nope. I already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the scientist guy because they both know where he's just like, oh, build us the missile,
Yeah.
and then we'll let you go. And since he doesn't speak English, they're both sitting there going, no, you won't.
No, he won't.
No, he won't.
The thing is kind of like the main weak link of the movie, I'd say, is kind of the villains.
Yeah.
In that, like, well, first off, they kind of try to pull a red herring, and like the leader of that one group there, kind of like it's part of the
Yeah.
Three Rings.
Yeah.
Like they kind of build up like, he's gonna be the bad guy, so then they can later on reveal that it's Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
And like, so you have that bad guy, and he's first off, he's kind of just like a stock like villain.
Yeah.
So even if you're pretending that he's the bad guy, it's still like, oh, he's a stock like terrorist
Yeah.
villain.
Stock. Exactly. I was just about to say that.
But then you reveal that that Jeff Bridges is the bad guy, and you're like, okay, like that's different because he's also part of the company and everything. It's good because it's Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And he's great because he's Jeff Bridges. But when it gets to like the ending and his main goal is just to build a bigger Iron Man suit.
And just sell it.
Yeah, and then fight Iron Man in the big
Yeah.
suits.
I don't remember back then. Maybe back then it wasn't a cliche, but now just the business guy who wants to take over and make more money
Yeah.
and cut out the people who want to do good. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and especially with like how far we've come with like more interesting villains.
Yeah, I'm like, this
That
guy's just-
him, he's not very memorable, to really be honest. Like
Yeah.
he's good, because, like I said, because he's Jeff Bridges. So to see him play the villain in like a comic book
yeah.
movie was pretty crazy.
I actually watched the special features when they were like rehearsing. I forgot which scene it was. I think it was the scene where they had that conflict on the stairs in front of the paparazzi, and they're rehearsing just in this like warehouse with Jon Favreau, and he has like a full head of hair.
Yeah.
And they're just like going at it. They go, no, let's try it like this. Why don't we do it like this? And I like watching that.
Yeah.
Because then when they get on that scene and on that screen, it's just
Yeah.
boom.
And apparently, like it was actually like Jeff Bridges wanted to shave his head because that's how the character is in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, if it's like that in the comics, I'll do it. And I'm like, the fact that Jeff Bridges said that, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's cool of him to do that.
That's a committed actor.
Yeah, so it's weird. It's like, I like him. He's a good character to watch in the part, but he's just not like most memorable. And then get to the action scenes are great.
Those are good.
Like I said, they're smaller scale than what we've seen now, but they're so well done and like intricately done. Like the CGI on the costume thing still looks really good. It still holds up. The one shot that doesn't hold up that well is when he's suiting up and they put like that little helmet on his face.
Yeah.
That's where it looks like kind of bad.
Or
CGI.
when he's all tangled.
Yeah,
he's
that's a little...
he's de-suiting. You can tell like the head's just kind of added in there
Yeah.
to move, and I'm like, that doesn't look right.
For 2008, it
Yeah.
still holds up really well.
And they actually kept the comedy too.
Yeah.
Which is like, because like the whole like it was in the trailer.
Or even the scene where like, he's like at that village, like right before that.
Yeah.
And that scene's really dramatic. You have like all like the terrorist characters like pointing the guns at the families and stuff. But then they have like the little moment where he shoots all the mini rockets and knocks out everybody. I remember that was a great moment, like with the audience just laughing.
It's almost like a Indiana Jones thing where
Yeah.
it's like, there's this big conflict. What's gonna happen? Ding, got you. We're done.
Yeah.
Move on out.
It's great. And then of course like the one of the things we haven't really talked about is Robert Downey Jr.
I am Iron Man.
He was born to play the role.
Yeah, I don't see anyone else doing it.
And I know it's the Tony Stark character, but at that point in comic book movies, we haven't really had a character like that be like the main hero.
Yeah,
you know,
the guy who like doesn't hate everyone, but who just like, I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah, he's like narcissistic, and he's just like, like we didn't really have that type of character yet in like a comic book movie.
Yeah.
So that was really different. It did change the game in that it showed that like you can get these like great actors like Jeff Bridges. Like this was after like Fantastic Four, we had like Jessica Alba as like the main character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Captain America.
Yeah, as the Human Torch. Yeah.
Fun.
But you have like them. You have like really like renowned actors. You have like a good script and a good enough story that keeps you invested. Yeah. That like it doesn't transcend being a comic book movie, but it does everything really well to where even if you don't like comic movies, you can watch it. Like our mom watched this movie and she likes it. She doesn't really care for comic book movies. It works for like other people who don't care for comic movies. It still works as a movie because it has these good characters. It has good dialogue.
Yeah. Well, the dialogue, it's so witty back and forth. Like you have to pay attention or else you're gonna miss like 5 million funny things they say. Very
well directed by Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
People don't give him too much credit, but he really is the guy who started this all. Like, he's the one that directed the first movie, like the first MCU film. And it's also fun seeing him as Happy Hogan in this movie, and he's like so subdued.
You see him like once.
He's just like a bodyguard,
And the little car race.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, but it's so fun just to see him as just like kind of the bodyguard who's just kind of there.
Yeah.
So I like that. Jon Favreau's like, he's a great director. He's one of the better like directors working today.
Yeah.
And he pulled it off. He turned like a B-list superhero into an A-list superhero. Yeah. Like we joke around about this shirt that came out like before Iron Man came out.
Yeah.
And you can't really see it on the video, but it has all these B-list superheroes and Iron Man's right at the front of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this shirt would not sell now. You need Iron.
No, because Deadpool's back there.
Oh yeah, Deadpool's in the top little corner in a little tiny picture.
He's hidden.
So this shirt would not sell nowadays. You need Iron Man with like Spider-Man and like Wolverine and Hulk. Still can't believe it's been 10 years.
I want to know how much they've actually planned from the beginning.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I think I read something in Breaking Bad. I don't know if I'm wrong or right. But when in Breaking Bad, when at the end of the series finale, he opens up the trunk and you see the gun and that's it.
Yeah.
They said they didn't know where they were going after that. They just shot it and they were like, it has to lead to this. I wonder if Iron Man, they were like, here's some things we want to kind of tackle, but we don't know where it's going to go.
There's no way they could have had everything perfectly planned out. That's the start of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's still an awesome movie.
Yes.
Like, to me, it still ranks as one of like the top, probably in the top 3 best Marvel movies still, in my opinion. That's Iron Man 1.
Iron Man 1.
Happy 10th anniversary Iron Man. There you go, that's the DVD.
DVD.
Yeah.
2-disc.
It was before I was buying Blu-rays, I'm sorry. But it's a cool DVD, so I don't care. Happy 10th anniversary Iron Man. Happy 10th anniversary the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's right.
Still have fond memories of seeing this movie. And have fond memories of seeing the other Marvel movies in years to come after that.
Yes, that's right. We'll see where they go from here, because
I
don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you never know. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.